The road we travel down in life oftentimes seems long, but every single one ends. You get to a point where you can't drive forward anymore, and then poof, done. It was just another Tuesday for Nancy. Same old grind on a different day. Shower, breakfast, son to school, work, son picked up, dinner, and then bed. Sometimes she fit an hour of TV, and on Friday nights, a little bit of Law and Order to calm her nerves. Overall, her life was a monotonous play with little plot development and minimal character development. She was cooking dinner when she heard an extra voice upstairs. Had Bobby brought home a friend from school to play with? Her tired mind could not remember back a mere hour. She climbed the creaky stairs and hung a left at the bathroom the two of them shared. She slowly turned the brass knob, peeking her head past the door's threshold. She saw Bobby, sitting on the bed next to a man she had never seen before. Her heart leapt into her throat. He wore a wide-brimmed hat and a suit that seemed freshly dry-cleaned.
Bobby, who's this?
"Oh, hi, Mommy. This is my new friend. He was here when we got home from school." She was silent in the doorway, feeling a strange mix of fear and confusion. She was sure that she had locked the door when they had left in the morning. How did he get into the home, and what did he want? The man stood up and patted Bobby lightly on the head, smiling at him kindly. "Let's go to the kitchen, Nancy. I want to have a chat." She did not want to move, but her legs seemed to act without direction from her brain. She must be dreaming, but she could not be sure for the life of her. She turned to face him again as they entered the small kitchen. His shoes clipped and clopped across the linoleum until they came to a rest at the table. He sat, placing his briefcase on the freshly polished wood. It clicked open, and he removed a small file from its innards. Like the guts of a dead mammal, he thought silently to himself. Jesus, why did every thought have to be so morbid? He shook his head slowly and looked up to meet Nancy's questioning eyes. "I'm sorry I have to be here today. I don't want to be here. Bobby is a good kid. Unfortunately, for you, I don't make the decisions." Nancy looked at the strange man, dressed as if he just came from a funeral. She was convinced now that he was going to kill her, but she did not know why. Her mind had been made up that she would fight as she had entered the kitchen, knives within reach of outstretched arms. But not yet.
What are you talking about?
"Your road has hit a dead end, dear." He sighed as she took 2 steps back and groped at a butcher's knife on the countertop. People would never learn that once their card had been picked, there was no hope left. Hope was a great thing to have during the drive, but it does you no good at the bottom of the canyon. He stood up and approached her slowly, hand outstretched and beckoning. She moved quickly for an older woman, but speed would not help her cause. The knife plunged into hollow guts, bloodless when removed. The horror washed over her face. She backpedaled, tripping over the trash bin in the process. Her back was against the wall, like a stray dog at the end of a long chase with the dog catcher.
What are you?
"Darling, semantics are pointless now." He approached her and squatted on spindly legs. His hand floated to her chest, resting itself right above her left breast. She felt no warmth radiating off his fingers, but her nerves were not focused on this small detail. Her mind was focused only on the dark pits on his face where eyes once were. Her racing heartbeat slowed as she stared, then rested. He stood, slowly, taking his eyes off the woman and rotating to the kitchen. There stood Bobby, his stare blank, as his undeveloped mind tried to process the scene before him. He slowly approached the stranger, eyes never wavering from his mother's face. "Are you going to take me as well?" "I will not take you. That is the job of another. But I will make my job as painless as possible." He looked down to the child. It was a true shame that he had to enact this fate on him, but he had no say in the matter. He did not make the rules. A hand reached down and grasped the boy's shoulder, holding firmly until his small body dropped to the floor. His eyes never left the blank face of his mother. The clicking of the stove relaxed him a little. He was sure it would smell like propane in the home soon, but it would be long gone by then. He filed their documents away in his briefcase and walked slowly out the front door. As people rushed to the house that was now engulfed in flames, he worked against the wave of bodies. He did not look back. He did not address the sirens that flew past. It was all a part of the overall plan, and he could not let it bother him.